It was a huge part of my life for decades. And I finally overcame something that no one thought I would overcome, including me, my parents, my husband at that time, my kids. No one thought I would lose weight because they knew how much I tried, how hard I tried. They knew how much it meant to me to be a normal weight and to be able to participate in my own life. But I couldn't do it. And I'm a strong, very strong willed person. And everybody that knows me knows that. But yet I could not keep, I couldn't sustain anything I lost. I always gained all of it back. And I gained 100 pounds with each of my 3 pregnancies. That's a lot of weight. I literally lost and gained thousands of pounds throughout those 32 years. And it's not something that I'm proud of. It's just something that is. But I remember reading, I've always read a lot, and I read that if you yo-yo diet, that you can't lose weight. Well, thanks. I read that if you yo-yo diet, you can't lose weight, you're much less likely to be able to lose weight. But that's not true. There's no one that yo-yo dieted more than me. Now, of course, I don't really know that. I can't really say that. But I'm saying it to make the point that I lost and gained thousands of pounds, and I still lost weight on my own without a surgical device, without outside intervention. I simply ate less. That's all I did. Oh, the struggle is very real, especially in society where you're expected to participate in events that have to do with food, all of our holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, you name it. Everything is geared around food. Even when people died, that's geared around food. No one respects what? You mean how hard it is to lose weight? Well, some people really struggle more than others. I'm a very food sensitive person, and food was my coping skill. I never smoked or drank or anything like that. And for food to be my only coping skill, and for me to have to make such drastic changes that were sustainable was a really big deal for me. That's why I like to talk about it, because I never thought I'd be able to lose all that weight. I was so depressed about it. I'm not going to let anyone, like, I'm not going to let anyone that, I'm sorry, I struggle to see. I don't have my glasses on. You can't trust yourself about food. Is that what you're saying? Oh, true to yourself. I agree. You have to be. Otherwise, you won't be happy. At least that's my opinion. You have to be true to yourself more than anyone else, and you have to love yourself. But that's, speaking of that, that's a big part of it is loving yourself. Yes, you're right. And that's you can't care what other people think. It's true. And I still find myself caring sometimes in a real kind of superficial way, but not really. And when I find that I seem to care, then I force myself to do the opposite of what I want to. I'm not making that very clear. For instance, I still get intimidated at the gym sometimes. And so when I feel like I shouldn't go to like where all the young buff guys are lifting, and I feel like I don't belong, and I don't know. Anyway, I force myself to go lift in that section, in that area anyway, because I'm not going to let my mind stop me from doing what I want to and should do. I'm not going to let myself stop myself, if you understand what I'm saying. I make myself go out of my comfort zone so that I can continue to grow as a person. And that's not always so easy, but, and I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging, but I'm just telling you how I think. It took a lot of introspection for me to. I journaled a lot. I think journaling is important. And you have to, not you, but for me, I had to monitor my thoughts because a lot of times we think negative thoughts about ourselves, but we're not really consciously aware of those thoughts. Hi there, how are you? Thank you. And so I try consciously to be aware of what I think about myself and everything that's going on around me. And it takes practice, but I think I've gotten good at it, monitoring my self talk. But I think that's absolutely critical for your success. Yeah, when I first tried to lose, well, not first, but in my 20s, I tried to lose weight it was my late 20s, for my husband at that time. He wanted so badly for me to lose weight. He told me how ugly and gross, all that I was. And so I tried to lose weight for him, and that didn't work. And I had to learn that the hard way. Someone could tell me, well, that won't work. That's not, it has to be for you. And I'm very stubborn. And I would have said, that's not true. I'll do it. You'll see, I'll do it. But it is true. I always have to learn the hard way. I can read something, see things, but for some reason, I am so stubborn, and it has to be on my terms. I have to learn it myself. I always think, well, there must be some way or something that's different. I don't know. I just like to experience things for myself so that there's no doubt whatsoever in my mind about things. And it's true, you cannot lose weight for someone else. And I learned that the hard way. I thought that, yeah, I remember we had graduated from college, and this is my husband, my first husband, and we were living in an apartment, and I had promised him that I would lose weight, and he had made such a big deal out of how disgusting I was to him. And so I really was trying, but I wasn't dealing with my emotional demons and monsters. I just tried to lose weight by going on a diet. And he came home from work early one day, and I was in the kitchen consuming one ice cream sandwich after another. I was binging on ice cream sandwiches. I'd bought a box of 12, and I was eating one after another, and I was kind of in a trance-like state. It's definitely a coping skill. But anyway, he caught me eating all those ice cream sandwiches one after another. And I remember ice cream sandwiches went all over, I was eating, I had the box in one hand, and I just remember them going all over the place in the kitchen, the wrappers and the box. And I ran to get my car keys. This is after he saw me. And it was like he caught me having an affair. It was exactly like that, except the affair was with ice cream sandwiches. That's who I was having an affair with. And I'm not trying to be funny. It's the truth. So anyway, I grabbed my car keys, ran out of the apartment, went to a friend's house till really late at night, like 2 o'clock in the morning, because I was so ashamed and embarrassed that I was consuming all those ice cream sandwiches. I was really ashamed of myself because it wasn't who I felt like I was. I wasn't this out of control food fiend, but it was like a part of my brain was taken over and sabotaged me when I tried to lose weight. And it was, I mean, still, even, that was like 30 years ago. I don't know how long ago. Let's see, it was like 1993. So that was about 20 years ago. No, that was 30 years ago. Anyway, it was horrible. I know it sounds silly and like it's not a big deal, but it was to me because I'm the kind of person that when I promise someone something, when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And people that know me know I keep my word. And I'm very careful when I promise something because I want to make sure I can really do what I say. And I had promised him I would lose weight, and I felt like such a bad person that I ate all that. It just makes me so mad still that I couldn't figure out much sooner how to lose all that weight, and I had to suffer so much in my life being so heavy. It's really pretty sad, actually. Well, thank you. I'm I have a lot of anger, I guess, at myself in a way for having been that obese for that long. But then again, maybe if I hadn't tried everything I had, maybe I would have never lost it in the first place, and I'd probably be dead. No, my day was fine. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it very much. But the whole reason that I got on TikTok and social media, because 2 years ago, a little bit over 2 years ago, I wasn't even on Facebook. I was on no social media at all. I'm actually very introverted, and well, thank you. I'm very introverted and just didn't understand social media. Um, wait, what does it say? To learn, I can read this. Long term. All right, you want tips? Do you follow me? That's the first tip so that you'll know when my book comes out. I have a lot more on YouTube than I do on TikTok. But yes, here's the first tip. You need to start writing down. And I know it's not fun, but that's just the way it is. You're going to have to pay. So you can pay now or you can pay later. If you pay now, you can start taking steps. And the first step that I would say is to hi there, keep a journal of how much you eat for a good week. Then I have a calculator in my bio that tells you exactly how many calories you need to consume to maintain your current weight. And ideally, you cut back depending on your height, weight, sex, age, it will have you cut back between 500 and 1,000 calories a day. There's all these diets out there. It all comes down to one thing. I counted calories to lose weight. That's how I lost weight. And when I want to lose weight, even now, I count calories. I've read so much. I've read many things that say, not many, but some that say it's not, it's the kind of calories you eat. I disagree. You can eat too much protein, and and I've researched that a lot. If you consume too many calories, even if it's protein, you will not lose weight. Your body will store it as fat. Supposedly, it's less likely to store it as fat if it's protein, but it still counts. So when I was losing, when I was 250 plus, because I stopped weighing myself at 250. So I don't even know what I got up to. I don't think it was a lot over 250 though. But I took very, very, very baby steps is what I would call it, because I could not tolerate another change. I'd gone on so many diets in my life. I couldn't stand the idea of restricting what I ate because I get so much pleasure out of food, and the idea of having to give it up wasn't acceptable to me. I could not accept that. So I made very, very, very small changes to my lifestyle. And it took me 3 years to lose 110 pounds, but I've kept it off. And I can see people saying, well, that's just too long. I can't wait 3 years to lose 110 pounds. Well, all right. What will happen is you'll lose maybe 20 and gain back 30. 3 years will pass and maybe you'll have gained 50. You just have to accept that it will take a long time. You have to accept it. That's the way it was for me. I didn't like it. No one ever said that it was fun, but you're doing it because you love yourself. And if you can't find, if you're not sure if you love yourself, because I wasn't at different points, then you do it for a child that you love because you want to be around for that child. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for them because you love them so much. That's how I had to think of it. It has to be something much more profound than just being motivated for like a wedding or something dumb like that. Thank you. Thank you. But as far as your motivation, it has to be something that's substantial for it to stick. It can't, like I said, be for like a high school reunion or an anniversary or for your spouse. It can't be for any of those things. So I did it for several reasons. I did it because I loved myself and I knew I deserved to have a normal life and not a life where I was basically watching everything happen and I couldn't really participate. Anyway, I don't know if anybody's even really listening, but it's a very emotional, passionate topic for me because it took everything out of me. Oh, well, thank you. It took everything out of me to figure out what it would take for someone like me that loved to eat so much and used food to cope with every emotion. I think, I think losing the weight slowly, in the right way, yes, it does have to be, I shouldn't say, I don't like absolutes with anything. It took me a long time growing up as a person to realize that most of life is in the gray area. It's not black or white. And I don't like to say absolutes, especially when it comes to weight loss, because the way I think and the way other people think isn't the same. And what motivates me may not motivate you. All I can tell you is my perspective. And my perspective is diets don't work. You can't lose weight for someone else. It has to be for you. It has to be, this is what I think. It has to be because you love yourself and you want to give yourself a better life because you know you deserve it and you want it for yourself. And you're going to figure out why you sabotage yourself and why you can't do what you know to do. Because there's so much information out there now about how to lose weight and nutrition and macros, fasting, all of it. we're inundated with information, just inundated. You could look up anything you want to and learn about it. I'm not saying that every source out there is legitimate, but a lot of sources are. And but for some reason, there's a lot of controversy about weight loss. And I'm the kind of person that will say I don't know about something, even though I do. I found most people are like me. They're the complete opposite. They can know a little bit about something and act like they know all about it. I have to know something backwards and forwards before I feel like I know it. And I think I know weight loss pretty well and weight loss maintenance. And it's very individual. It's not just what you learn at Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers. You have to do a lot of soul searching and figure out why you sabotage yourself. Because I bet if I asked everybody that's listening how to lose weight, I'll bet every one of you would know that it's simply a matter of eating less and moving more, right? I mean, it doesn't everybody really know that at their core, but the problem is no one wants to do that. It's not fun. Hi, is it Kimberly? Hi, Kimberly, how are you? It's not fun to have to give up your favorite food. I hate it. So I figured out ways to make myself not want certain foods. I think this is a long, long journey. Not for everybody. Most people don't have all the issues that I did with food. Most people don't. If I had to go through so much. I had to figure out so much about myself and why I ate, why I never wanted fruits or vegetables. Like my mom said to me once, and she was right, and I had to think about it. It's not what I it's not just what I eat, it's what I don't eat. And I never liked fruits or vegetables. That's always been a problem for me. And I hate that about myself. But I because I know that about myself, I force myself to eat fruits and vegetables as if I'm my own parent. I have to parent myself. And that's how I have to think about it because it's not natural for me to eat broccoli or Brussels sprouts. I just think they're the most disgusting thing on earth. But I know that I want to be healthy and I want to live a long time. Um, Hi there. I'm from Oak Ridge. Hi, Oak Ridge. How are you doing? Do I maintain? No, because I constantly am analyzing my own thoughts, as weird as that might sound. I'm just a very analytical person by nature. And if I don't feel like it, sometimes I remind myself of that guy, that movie Office Space, where that guy was the main character was hypnotized and he didn't want to go into work because he didn't care about anything anymore. And then they thought he looked like, oh, who was that singer? Uh, Somebody, Billy Ray Cyrus. They thought he looked like Billy Ray Cyrus and they gave him a promotion even though he did nothing. Anyway, sometimes I feel like I'm like that I don't care. But, and I say that meaning if I don't feel like eating a ton of protein or what I think I should that day, I don't sweat it because I know one day isn't the end of the world. You have to look at the big picture. You can't just look at one day and get all upset about it. And that took me so long to figure out something as basic as that. I'm I'm originally from Indiana. Oh, I'm in North Texas too. I'm originally from Indiana, but I'm in North Texas. I suspect that's who sees most of my videos is North Texas. We're probably all pretty close to each other. I do get people from other states, but a lot of Texans, that's for sure. Nikki, I like your avatar, Mickey. Southeast Texas. Yeah, I'm in North Texas too. Oh, the UK. Wow. I love the UK. I've been to London and Bath and, oh gosh, I can't even, some of the surrounding areas. And I just absolutely loved it there. Tennessee. That did not, did you say, does it say Lee in Tennessee? I don't think I've been to Tennessee. Isn't Tennessee above Louisiana? Bath is, yeah, I love seeing Stonehenge, and it was a freezing day that day, but I wouldn't mind living there, actually. I absolutely loved it, loved the people, loved all the culture and the history. It was so rich in history, whereas everything is new here, and there's not a lot of history. How long have I been on this? 34 minutes. 7. Why is it so hard to see it? I don't. I went to UK in Austria, which I just loved. I saw Beethoven's home. That made a huge impression on me. Oh my gosh. No, it wasn't Beethoven. It was Mozart. I went to Vienna, and oh my gosh, I loved it. I wanted to stay there forever. I don't want to start thinking about Europe. I miss Europe. But have I helped anyone with anything that I've said? Does anything that I've said resonate with anybody? Can you tell how passionate I am about weight maintenance, weight control? Unfortunately, it's something I have to think about every hour of, not every hour, that's an exaggeration, a lot during every day. I have to think about it. But it's better than weighing 250 pounds. Come here, UK. No, I'd love it. It might sound strange, but since I was 16, I always felt like I belonged in Europe, and I don't know why. I always kind of had an obsession with it. You lost 120 pounds, 15 years still in. Wow, that's remarkable, Butch. Was it difficult for you to lose it? That's a lot of weight. And usually people don't keep it off. It's very rare. How long did it take you, Butch? Occasionally, people on here will tell me that they've lost massive amounts of weight like that. But usually, it's a recent loss. Might be, yeah, my ancestors are all German and English and some Irish, but my grandmother's parents were from Alsace-Lorraine. I don't know if you're familiar with that. What time is it? I wish I'd learned German growing up, but I didn't. I just remember my grandmother speaking to me in German and talking about how guttural it was and realizing what she meant when she talked about it being guttural. The sounds. There, as far as losing weight, you definitely have to have determination. It's not just introspection and having a plan of some kind. You have to make yourself do things that you don't want to, but that's part of being a grown up. That's what I say to myself anyway, is that most of actually most of what I do every day, I don't want to do, but that's just the way it is. Yes, mindset. That's exactly right. But it's not so easy, at least not for me, to get into that mindset. It's very difficult for me, but not everyone is like me. We're all different. I'm going to get off in a second. And I constantly read and learn because I know I don't know everything. Of course I don't. That's impossible. I never will. And that's what makes it fun, is continuing to learn. Addicting. Yeah, it can be. You can change one addiction for another. That's what they say. But thank you. I'm trying to be able to see what you said. I've got to go. Have a good night. I need to go myself. When I go home, I'll have a protein shake and I have a salad I could eat, chicken salad. I add chicken to one of those bag salads, and that way I can get a ton of chicken and it's a ton of protein, and add just about anything I want to it to make it more healthy. Because I don't feel like going home and chopping a bunch of vegetables. I think it's worth it to buy those bag salads. I've experimented a lot, and I just tend to be. And then something else is you have to figure out where you cut time or make things easier for yourself. You can't make everything easier, but some things are more important than others, like having food prepared in advance so that when you're hungry, you make wise decisions. That's what was important for me, is that when I get hungry, I can't wait like other people can. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. So I keep myself pretty, not full, but the minute, that's another thing that I do. The minute I start to get hungry, I'll nibble on something. And that way, I'm never just famished. And so I have more control over myself. That took me a long time to figure out. And it seems like it's just such basic common sense. But for me, it was not. And all of these things are easy to say and not always so easy to do, at least for me. There's definitely a lot of preparation involved. And when I go out, I take protein bars, apples, carrots with me so that if I get hungry, I have food available. It's almost like taking care of a child. When you go out with a young child, you know how you have food with the kid, a sippy cup with whatever to drink and snacks. That's kind of how I have to treat myself. Like I'm this little kid that can't get too hungry, otherwise I'll make a bad decision. But that's actually what the reality is for me. As dumb as it sounds, that's how it is for someone like me. And that's how one of my keys is being prepared and taking care of myself. And that's one way I take care of myself. And then after a while, you get used to it. It doesn't seem like you don't even think about it. You just do it because you've done it for so long. Anyway, I'm going to go. Love yourself.